Hey everyone, Jason Owens here for Campaign Sauce. Hope you're doing great today. I want to share with you how you can 10x the number of prospects reaching out to you. All right, so let's dive in. Okay, so I was working with a client, and this is what I found. We did an initial review, initial analysis, went in, looked at their internal process, looked at their website, looked at how they're working, and we really zeroed in on this as being some low-hanging fruit for them. They have a series of pages on their website. This page in particular is not their home page. This is one of the services that they offer. So you go into this page and you would end up finding, of course, that they have organic traffic coming in. You're going to see that there were, to a point, their Google ads were driving some traffic to this. Again, it wasn't directly going into this page. People just kind of find their way here. But as you're on this page, you kind of go down and take a look at it, and they have just a standard contact us form, okay? Ones that you've seen a million times, okay? And from this contact us form, somebody goes in, they enter in their name, information, answer a few questions. And this contact us form, it's really rudimentary, right? Really basic, it's simple, it works great. It ends up sending an email, okay? And of course, behind the form, it's one email address, right? So it goes to whoever is on the other end of this email address. So, that's not bad. I mean, it works, right? The only downside to that, like if you really wanted to take it to the next level, the only downside here is that there's no real integration with a CRM, okay? So again, it works, but if you really want to move it to that next level, I would love to have that data fed into a CRM. And right now, I don't know that there's much of a feedback loop here going back to tell Google, hey, these are the kind of people that I want, okay? And it's just, in this case, a lot of this traffic was really just organic search. And the ads, again, there was no feedback loop telling Google, yeah, these are the kind of people that I want. So moving forward, what we ended up doing, of course, we still have the traffic coming in from organic and a little bit from the ads, but we're going to now work with the client's existing CRM. And we found out they have capabilities in this CRM. We're going to go ahead and create this form. It's a CRM-based form. The old version, whenever you would hit the submit button, nothing would really change on the page. You just get this little thank you message on that page. Okay, and I mean, that's great. But what I really want as more of a marketer, process improvement guy, what I'm looking for is I want a thank you page. Okay, so whenever you hit that button, it doesn't feel like it just went into a black hole. You submit your information and okay, at least a thank you page comes up. And for me, that thank you page is where I start to use that to create my conversion triggers, okay? So you have this conversion event that happens. Now we're able to start doing some fun stuff. Okay, but before we do the fun stuff, let's do the process stuff. So after somebody hits the submit button, now this information, this contact info goes into a CRM, okay? So this is really good stuff because now this thing is tracked, it's visible to the organization, and it doesn't get lost, right, in one person's inbox. So now it's inside of the CRM, and we'll get to more of that in a bit. All right, so let's go back to the conversion event now. So from that thank you page that's now firing the conversion event, now we have our feedback loop, okay? So now we can go back and tell, hey, Google, you're sending me the right people, okay? Or whatever other platforms you have that are running you ads, or driving traffic from ads, you can now say, hey, great job, send me more of those kind of people. All right. Also, from the conversion event, now that we know who has landed on this page and we have a really good idea, we've pixeled them and we understand them a bit, now we can start retargeting them, okay? So you obviously gave us the form, you gave us your info. If we want to turn on some retargeting campaigns, we can do that as well. So moving forward, now we can start branching. Now that we have these conversion events firing, we can go plug that into whatever other platforms you enjoy advertising on. Usually folks are going to have some kind of ads running on maybe a Facebook or an Instagram. What's really nice about running the Facebook or Instagram ads, you've seen these before where, especially on Instagram, where a lot of people are these days, you can end up running the campaign that says, hey, don't click a link and go out to my page, just give me just DM, send me a direct message, put the word free or the word, whatever. There's some kind of code word. And then the automation kicks in the background to where you end up getting the thing, right? Whether it's the blueprint or the checklist, whatever the thing is, right? You get the freebie. All right. So, and then of course, it also allows you to move from just maybe just like a standard search type ad or maybe a standard display ad. Now you can move to using Facebook Reels. Okay. You can get into doing video ads, which are very effective. So, anyway, having these feedback loops just opens up another whole universe for you, including whatever other platforms you want to advertise. It could be TikTok, it could be X, it could be LinkedIn, wherever your people live. Now this allows you, having this feedback loop allows you that ability to start fine-tuning those ads in such a way that you're getting the right people. So going back over here onto the bullet points I just turned on, what you get now is you are actively in control of driving leads. In particular, you also know your cost per lead on each platform. Now, if you're out advertising on 3-4 platforms at once, you're going to find out very quickly where you're getting the most bang for your buck. That's going to become very apparent very early. So anyways, and this is the fun part. This is how you 10x, okay, is you end up setting up this entire system so that you can drive traffic to it. And when you have viable traffic coming in, you're going to get the results. All right, so kind of this is what the architecture looks like. So we're going to put the architecture kind of up here in the corner. And what does it look like to actually kind of step through this? Sorry, one last bullet point. Of course, once you have this system in place, you can copy and paste it for every other service or product offering that you have. It's very easy to copy and paste, right? So you can get even more scale, more efficiency out of that. Okay, so let's look for what this looks like unpacking it, actually making it happen. I find that this project has 3 different phases to it. The first one is going to be we wake up the CRM. Okay, well, what do I mean by that? Well, we go over to this website page. We get rid of the old form, the email-based form. We put the CRM-based form on. We create that thank you page, which then allows us to create those conversion events, right? Establishing the feedback loop, and we run a few tests, okay? So we basically get this thing ready to work. Now we move to probably the hardest part of the entire implementation. It's not the technology, it's the people, okay? And that's the way it is with most process improvement work. Okay, so we do this phase 2, which I'm calling the CRM onboarding. Okay, so of the employees that we have here at this particular client's location, some of them are CRM savvy. Some of them could care less about a CRM. Some people track their stuff, all of their stuff inside the CRM. Other people are just fine with their whiteboard or a yellow legal pad, sticky note, Excel spreadsheet, right? So there's not a common process here inside this company for where we track all of our leads that come in. Okay, so of the employees, let's just make sure we get everybody up to a common standard, okay? So there's some training that may need to be involved. There's some reminding that may need to be involved. Creating some expectations from the management standpoint of, okay, guys, yeah, listen, we really expect you to use this now, right? So anyway, next thing is when we have these leads coming in, well, who gets them, okay? Are we just going to have one person take all the internet leads? Okay, that's viable, okay? You could also go the round robin, which is like dealing a deck of cards. You get one, you get one, you get one. Okay, so again, we have to find out and just figure out how we're going to assign leads. Should be pretty straightforward, should probably be automated. And then overall, we just map the existing workflow and then set those performance expectations. So what I mean by the follow-up workflow here is let's have one consistent way that we follow up. Okay, if you end up having 5, 6, 7 sales reps, it's not uncommon for folks to really kind of have their own way of doing things, okay? And it's been working for them for years. As a leader, if you want to have some consistency about that outreach and that follow-up, then by all means, go ahead and train that into the CRM, implement that through the CRM so that follow-up cadence, the messaging, the timing, all of that is uniform, and you end up being able to improve that process whenever it needs to be. And it's just a great way to also to protect your brand. Okay, last phase here, phase 3, is basically scaling the traffic and leads, okay? So Facebook, Instagram, let's do that initial batch of the ads, right? So let's go ahead and get some real Facebook Reels or some Instagram Reels out there. With Google, right? So again, we have some Google traffic ads. Would it make sense rather than taking those ads and moving traffic to the homepage? Do we have enough of a market out there to start driving traffic to this particular service, right? So anyway, that's another thing. So go in and start tweaking the existing ads that are there. And then retargeting, right? So if you want to have retargeting built in there, you can. Go ahead and design that first blueprint. Design that first blueprint and figure out what exactly it is that you want that blueprint to be. Don't get married to this blueprint, because it could be a blueprint. It could end up being a checklist. It could end up being a collection of blog articles. You don't really know what this freebie is going to be, right? So a lot of ads will, especially lead-based ads, they're like, hey, come over here and sign up for your free thing. You have no idea really what 10 free things people are going to resonate with. So don't be afraid to go in there and test these very often, very early on. So anyway, so that's that. And again, my name is Jason Owens. I would love to work with you here in my business of Campaign Sauce. This is just one great example of really digging in and looking at the process, not only from the tech side. The tech side, again, is usually fairly easy. It's really 80% of the time, the success is going to come from the people interacting with the tools. So yeah, anyway, I love doing this kind of work. Would love to help out you and your business. Reach out to me at campaignsauce.com. Take care.